Hello from the ancient town of Hoi An, Vietnam. For the last part of our Southeast Asia trip, we decided to head to one more final country and spend 2 weeks in Hoi An. So today I'm going to show you everything you need to know before visiting Hoi An, including some of the best places to go and foods to try. The first thing you should know as soon as you arrive in Hoi An is that the best way to get around town is by bike. You can also rent a motorbike if you want, but I think to get most places around town, all you really need is a bike. Just be aware that drivers here treat bikes and motorbikes the same, so it can be quite stressful biking on these roads, but you'll get used to it after a couple days here. Also, remember that Vietnam drives on the right side of the road, as opposed to Thailand or Indonesia, where they drive on the left. Cao Lau is probably the most famous dish in all of Hoi An, and you'll see it everywhere in street food stands and in fancy restaurants too. Today we're here at a place called Cao Lau Thanh for lunch. Cao Lau is a noodle dish with just a little bit of broth at the bottom and pork, bean sprouts, and lots of greens. This is one of the things that you have to try if you ever come to Hoi An, and we actually eat it pretty much every day here. There's also a little juice stand right next to Cao Lau Thanh, and the lady who works there is really nice, so I always go right next door to get an orange juice. One of the best things to do in Hoi An is just to walk around the old town, which is filled with countless shops, restaurants, and cafes. The only bad thing about Old Town is that it's always super crowded, especially in the evenings, like right now. There's tons of people everywhere, and you definitely cannot bike here. The Old Town is also decorated really nicely with all the buildings painted yellow and lanterns hanging above the streets, like right here. Some attractions in Old Town include the Fujian Chinese Assembly Hall and the Japanese Bridge. There are also a few rooftop cafes that are really nice to sit at and get a view of the city. One is called FIFO Coffee, and there's another called Tammy Coffee, which are both really nice. One very popular drink to get in the old town of Hoi An is a herbal tea from this place called Mot Hoi An. There's always a huge crowd around the shop window, but somehow they pour the drink so fast that it takes almost no time to get yours, and it only costs 15,000 dong. Hello again from the Hoi An Old Town. I'm actually walking in the exact same place I was a couple hours ago, but now it's dark. You can see all the lanterns, and I'm drinking this local drink called cha tak, which is kind of like kumquat tea or juice. It tastes kind of sweet and sour like a citrus fruit, and it's really refreshing even at night. For dinner tonight, we're having another Hoi An specialty. This is Quang Noodle, and it's basically noodle soup with quail eggs and shrimp and some little crackers. Oh, and also pork, of course. Another popular dessert sold on the streets of Hoi An Old Town is basically just a cup of ice with lots of different types of jellies and beans, and topped with coconut milk. After dinner, we decided to head across the bridge to the night market to visit our friend Mr. Me, also known as the No Bullshit Guy. This is one experience in Hoi An you absolutely cannot miss.
No bullshit price over here, hey? Number 33, we're famous in YouTuber as well, man. Yes, the price just dropped straight from the heaven for all you guys, okay? But he always bullshit with me. No, hey, look at me, no bullshit price, man. Easy sell, we call it easy buy, okay? Yeah. hold the market, no one the best in my store. I guarantee. Okay, I'm happy to do you too, right? Because I like her. Not for you, okay?
Not for me.
No bullshit for you. Yes. And 70, now 60. See? Mental is mental.
And there's no better way to end the night than taking a lantern boat ride down the river. The prices for the boat rides were actually pretty reasonable, but still don't forget to bargain. The next day, I decided to bike through the countryside to visit a cafe with a giant brick kiln in the rice fields. This place is about a 7-kilometer bike ride from Hoi An Old Town, and you get to bike through the beautiful Kam Kim Island on the way there. Next, let's head to the city of Da Nang to visit the Marble Mountains. The Marble Mountains are another great place to visit about half an hour from Hoi An. These limestone hills are perfect for a half-day trip and offer panoramic views, hiking trails, and plenty of caves to explore. And now let's go back to Hoi An to get one of the most famous Vietnamese foods for dinner. If you're looking for a banh mi, there's no better place to get it than right here at Banh Mi Phuong. This is one of the best banh mi places in all of Hoi An, and it's always packed. I also like to go to this little local shop right next door where there's this little girl who always makes sugarcane juice with the machine at her parents' restaurant. They actually just take a big stick of sugarcane and then grind it up in the machine, which makes the juice. So if you want some fresh sugarcane juice or iced tea, definitely check this place out too. One final place you must visit if you come to Hoi An is Mi Sun Sanctuary, home to a collection of ancient Hindu temples deep in the mountains. Even though it's about an hour drive from Hoi An, the sanctuary is well worth visiting, and it was definitely one of my favorite places in Vietnam. And aside from the temples, we also got to see some traditional Vietnamese singing and dancing at the sanctuary.
Đời chờ tháng năm ôi tình yêu mặn mà, đời chờ ngóng trong ôi tình yêu đậm đà. Đôi ta tại xa ai, đôi ta có khi hai, khi ta đất ly già đất ra mong cô ta trà, khi ta đất ly già đất ra mong cô ta trà.
And now we're headed to try another Hoi An specialty at the White Rose restaurant. White Rose dumplings are a very popular dish, but only here in Hoi An and nowhere else in Vietnam. The recipe for the dumplings is actually kept secret by one family, and that family makes and distributes the dumplings to all the restaurants in Hoi An. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for sticking around throughout the Southeast Asia series. This will be the last video for a while, so make sure to go back and watch the other Asia videos if you haven't already. Vietnam was the perfect end to this incredible 4-month journey, and I can't wait to share more adventures with you very soon.